Have you ever been sitting at home, opening an email or walking into a room, and suddenly your body reacts like something's wrong? Your chest tightens, your stomach drops, or you feel tense or just on edge. And when you look around, nothing obvious is happening. No one's yelling, no one is threatening you, and there's no clear danger. So you say to yourself, why am I so on edge? Why can't I just relax? That's the experience we're talking about today, not the kind of fear that comes from an obvious emergency, but the quieter alarm that shows up when your body acts like there's a problem before your mind can explain what the problem is. I'm Dr. Tracy Marks, a psychiatrist, and I make mental health education videos. This is the start of a new series on what happens to your brain under pressure. And we're beginning with the high alert brain because this is the state many people live in without having words for it. The high alert brain is the brain that keeps scanning for what could go wrong. And one of the most frustrating parts of this state is that your body can react before you understand what it's reacting to. But when your body feels on edge and you can't explain why, it's usually not no reason. It's no reason that you can consciously name. Those are very different things. Your brain doesn't wait for a complete explanation before it responds. It's always running a background safety check. It's constantly asking, am I safe right now? What might happen next? Does this situation resemble something I've had to watch out for before? And it answers those questions using much more than conscious thought. It uses what it senses from the environment, like the tone of voice, facial expressions, or posture. It even considers internal information, like your body sensations, memory fragments, or past experiences. You may not consciously register all of those cues, but your brain can still treat them as relevant. That's why you can walk into a room and just feel the tension before anyone says a word. Your conscious mind says, all clear, but your brain may be noticing a tense facial expression, or sudden silence, or a change in someone's voice, or just notice the way that your body is bracing. This is automatic threat appraisal, which means your brain is evaluating whether something matters for your safety, and it's doing it quickly, continuously, and mostly outside of your awareness. This system is active all day long, not just when something dramatic happens. It's active when you read a text message. It's active when someone pauses before answering you. It's active when you have too many demands and not enough information. Your brain doesn't treat life as neutral until proven otherwise. Ambiguity gets read as, pay attention, this could matter. And that sounds like a lot of extra, unnecessary work for the brain, but from a survival standpoint, it makes sense. I'll explain. Your threat system is tuned to overfire on purpose. At any moment, your brain can make one of two mistakes. The first mistake is a false alarm. You brace, your heart picks up, you get a jolt of adrenaline, and it turns out everything was fine. The second mistake is a missed alarm. You stay relaxed, you assume everything's fine, and something was really wrong. But what do each of those mistakes actually cost you? A false alarm costs you a few uncomfortable minutes and some wasted energy. Unpleasant, but you get over it. A missed alarm for our ancestors could cost you your life, and there's no recovering from that one. Those two costs are nowhere near equal. Your brain wasn't tuned to be perfectly accurate. It was tuned to keep you safe. And when the price of being wrong is that lopsided, the smart move is to sound the alarm at the maybe every single time and accept a pile of false alarms as the price of never missing the real thing. That is one reason you can feel unsafe when nothing dangerous is happening. Your brain may be over-detecting possible threat because biologically, over-detection is safer than under-detection. So the important distinction is this. Your body can be responding to a possible threat without the current situation actually being dangerous. Your heart may be really racing. Your stomach may really be unsettled. The body response is real, but the body response is not always an accurate read of what's happening right now. That's the difference between actual danger and felt danger. Actual danger means there's a real threat in the environment that needs your attention. Felt threat means your brain and body are prepping for danger. And sometimes that preparation is useful, sometimes it's outdated, and sometimes it's based on a cue that resembles something from the past more than something that's happening in the present. So the goal is not to ignore the feeling, and it's not to argue with yourself by saying, there's nothing wrong, just stop it. That usually doesn't work because the body is already activated. The goal is to pause long enough to assess the signal you're receiving. You could ask yourself several things. Is this actual danger? Is this uncertainty? Is this an old pattern? Is this my body reacting before my mind has the full story? That pause gives you a little room to interpret the signal, and without it, the high alert brain can treat the first body sensation as the whole story. Your chest tightens, so the conclusion is something's wrong. Someone pauses before responding, and the conclusion is they're upset with me. An email says, "Can we talk?" And the conclusion is, I'm in trouble. But those aren't conclusions, those are predictions. And that's the big idea here today. Your brain is predictive, not reactive. It's not waiting for danger to fully arrive. It's constantly estimating what's likely to happen next based on old data. That old data may come from a previous job where one short email always meant criticism. It may come from a relationship where someone's tone changed right before they started a conflict. Or it may come from growing up in an environment where you had to read the room carefully because people were unpredictable. Your brain stores patterns like that. Then later, when something in the present even slightly resembles the old pattern, your brain can respond before you consciously connect the dots. Let's say you worked for a manager who, when something was wrong, would say, "Can we talk?" Every time you got that message, you knew criticism was coming. Now you're in a different job. Your current manager is reasonable. The environment is healthier. But one afternoon, you see a message, "Can we talk?" Before you even finish reading it, your body shifts. Your mind starts scanning. What did I do? What did I miss? What's wrong? In this case, your manager just wanted to move a meeting, but your brain made a prediction from old data. Short message equals bad news. And that's why the reaction can feel like it came from out of nowhere. The trigger is not always obvious because your brain can match the present moment to an old pattern faster than your conscious thought can explain it. When you notice this, it's easy to feel shame, but shame only makes things worse. For instance, if you say, "Why do I keep doing this?" or "Why can't I just relax?" you're adding another layer of threat to a system that's already activated. A better first response is, "My brain is detecting something. Let me slow down enough to understand what it may be responding to." That doesn't mean the signal you're getting from your brain is correct. It means the signal is worth interpreting. Here's a simple way to work with it in the moment. First, name what's happening in the body. My chest is tight. My stomach dropped. My mind is racing. Keep it concrete. You're not diagnosing the whole situation. You're just naming the body state. Second, name the brain process. This may be a safety prediction. If you can't remember that, write it down and keep it handy. That phrase keeps you from treating the feeling as fact. The safety prediction is your brain's estimate. It may be helpful, but it may be outdated, and it may be incomplete. Third, check the present moment. Ask yourself, what's actually happening right now? Not what could happen, not what this reminds me of, what is actually happening right now. If there is real danger, respond to the danger. If there's no clear danger, then ask, what else could explain this signal? Maybe you're under stress more than you realized. Maybe you're tired. Maybe the tone or the silence of the email or facial expression resembled something that your brain learned to watch out for. This doesn't make the feeling disappear instantly. That's not the goal. The goal is to stop automatically obeying the first interpretation, because when your brain predicts threat, it starts looking for evidence that something is wrong. It's like it has a danger filter. You notice the sharp tone, the delayed reply, and the rest of the picture just gets harder to take in. That narrowed view is part of the high alert brain. The brain is trying to conserve attention for possible danger. That's why it does that. But in everyday life, that narrow state can make the world feel more threatening than it actually is. So the practice is simple. Name the body state, name the brain process, and check the present moment. That's enough for this first step. You don't have to solve your whole nervous system in the middle of an email or a conversation. You're simply creating space between the body's first reaction and the meaning you assign to it. And that space is where regulation begins. You're not trying to stop your brain from making quick safety predictions. That system is built for speed. but you can learn to recognize the prediction and respond to it with more accuracy over time. This is a starting point for understanding the high alert brain. Your brain may react first, and your explanation may come later. In the next video, we'll build on this by looking at a timing problem, why stress can hit before logic has time to catch up. For now, remember this. When your body acts like something is wrong and you can't explain why, it doesn't mean nothing is happening. Something is happening in your brain and your body. Your brain is scanning. It's comparing, predicting, and trying to protect you. But protection is not the same as accuracy. So instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" try asking, "What is my brain responding to?" That question gives you a place to begin. Thanks for watching today. See you next time.